Good morning, one and all. I welcome you all to Ganesh IAS Academy. In today's session, we'll be seeing science and technology based current affairs from the date October 23rd to October 30th, 2023. Let us get into the news articles one by one. First news that we are going to see for today is thallium poisoning. So, in this particular article or news article, we'll be discussing about what thallium is and what is thallium poisoning and how harmful it is to human beings, and all these details will be handling. Okay, so let us get into the details of what thallium is. And why is it in the news? Let us understand that first. Recently, multiple family members in Mahagaon district or village of Maharashtra fell victim to thallium poisoning. Okay, and this thallium poisoning is a chemical that operates in silence and it evades detection. Why does it operate in silence and why is it evading detection? All these details we must have to know. Okay, so thallium is a chemical element with atomic number 81. Yes. Okay, and it was discovered by Sir William Crookes in the year 1861. Basic things. Okay, and it is a soft, heavy, inelastic, and silvery white metal that tarnishes easily. Okay, it is soft, it is heavy, inelastic, and it is silvery white in color. Okay, and it tarnishes easily. Okay, and then thallium is a tasteless and odorless material, and it has been used by murderers as difficult to detect poison. Okay, so it has been used as a poison. What kind of poison? Difficult to detect poison. So what is this difficult to detect poison? Why is it used as difficult to detect poison? And all these details we need to know. Okay, so what are all the uses of thallium? It is used, okay, its utilization is restricted here because of its toxic nature. Because it is a poison, its utilization is restricted. And thallium sulfate is there. It is once a rodent killer. It was once used as a rodent killer, but then now it has been banned from household use. Okay, in many developed nations it has been banned. So thallium sulfate is no more in use in many developed nations, and earlier it was used as a rodent killer. Okay, and it finds application in electronic industry for photoelectric cells. This is important. Okay, so it is finding application in the manufacture of photoelectric cells. And thallium oxide, earlier we saw thallium sulfate. Okay, and there is thallium oxide, another compound. It is used to create high refractive glass and low melting glass, and then it is also used in the manufacturing of low temperature thermometers. This is important. Okay, such statements can be asked. Okay, so it is used in low temperature thermometers and also imitation jewels. Okay, in all these areas it is finding application. Now let us see what are all the sources of thallium. Thallium is found in trace amounts in Earth's crust, and it is found in several ores as a trace compound, as a trace element. Okay, and one of these is pyrites. Pyrites is one of the ores. Okay, and this pyrites is used to produce sulfuric acid, and only some thallium, only little amount of thallium is obtained from these pyrites, but then mainly it is obtained from extraction of other ores like copper, zinc, and lead. Okay, in the extraction of these three metals, in the refining of these three metals, thallium is extracted. Okay, as a byproduct. Next, what are all the health hazards of thallium? It can damage our nervous system and it can cause headaches, weaknesses, and irritability. Moreover, repeated exposure can cause tremors and hallucinations, and even coma and death can happen in human beings. So all these are the negative effects or health hazards of thallium, and it is having an antidote. There is an antidote for thallium. What is an antidote? Antidote is nothing but a compound or a substance which is used to counteract the poison. Here we saw that thallium is a poison, so it has to be counteracted. So to counteract this thallium poison, there is a compound called Prussian blue. Okay, and this Prussian blue is used in inactive radiothallium poisoning. So when there is, sorry, on radioactive thallium poisoning. Okay, so when there is non-radioactive thallium poisoning, then this antidote, that is Prussian blue, can be used and people can be saved. So this is it with thallium poisoning. The topic that we are going to discuss now is cloud seeding. What is cloud seeding? Why is it in the news? Let us understand one by one. So cloud seeding, which is a groundbreaking technique to enhance rainfall. Cloud seeding is used to enhance rainfall, and this has taken the center stage in the recent study published in the in the Journal Bulletin of American Meteorological Society, and this study was conducted by Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, which is there in Pune. Okay, so they have conducted this study about cloud seeding and what are all the findings of the study, and in general what is cloud seeding, what are all the different types of cloud seeding, how does it happen, and all those details we'll be understanding here. And this study unveils the potential of cloud seeding to boost precipitation in water scarce region. Obviously we need cloud seeding in water scarce region, thus offering hope for tackling drought conditions. So this is what we need to know. So the experiment that they have conducted, or the investigation that they made, is this one, that is cloud aerosol interaction and precipitation enhancement experiment. That is what the experiment that they have conducted, and this is the phase 4 of this particular experiment, which lasted for 2 years, that is 2018 to 2019, the summer seasons. The summer monsoon was covered, and this was done in Solapur, which is there in Maharashtra again. Okay, and its primary objective is to assess the effectiveness of hygroscopic seeding. So this is one type of cloud seeding, that is hygroscopic seeding. Details about it will be coming in the upcoming slides. Okay, so and it is also done in deep convective clouds. What are these convective clouds? That also we need to understand. What are all the different types of convective clouds that we have, will be knowing. Okay, and to develop a cloud seeding protocol, this was also the main objective of this particular experiment, that is CAIPEEX. Okay, to develop cloud seeding protocol. Next, researchers have used this chemical, that is calcium chloride flares was used for cloud seeding in this particular experiment. Okay, so in this hygroscopic seeding experiment, calcium chloride flares was used. This is important from exam point of view. And a cloud seeding flare, what does it do? It releases the particles when triggered. Okay, these this seeding was done at the base of the warm convective cloud. This is also important. It is done at the base of the warm convective clouds and not on the top. It is done on the base. Okay, say for example the cloud is like this. It is done at the base. Okay, the seeding is done at the base so that effective seeding happens. And it is also done at a time when the clouds were in their growing stage. This is also important. So when the clouds are in growing stage, this seeding has to happen so that the seed particle cloud enter the clouds with minimum dispersion. So there is no need of much dispersion when the seeding is done in the growing stage itself. Okay, so this is what we need to know. This is the experiment. Now let us understand what are convective clouds. In the previous slide we saw that this seeding was done to warm convective clouds. So what are these convective clouds and what are the different types of convective clouds, we need to understand. So convective clouds are clouds that form when warm humid air rises through cooler air in the atmosphere. This is what convection is. So convection is vertical movement of air is called as convection. Okay, vertical movement either upward or downward. If there is a movement of wind or air vertically, then that is called as convection. Okay, then if it is horizontal, then that is called advection. That is called as wind. Actually advection is wind, this is air movement. Okay, next, the warm air is less dense than the surrounding air, so it rises, and this process is called as convection. This is obvious, right? The air which is warm will be very lighter. Okay, it is less dense, thus it rises. And then convective clouds are also known as cumuliform clouds. This is important. Okay, it is also called as cumuliform clouds, and they look like stacks of cotton balls. That is why it is called cumuliform. Okay, it looks like stacks of cotton balls. So it will be like this. Convective clouds will be like this. So it will be looking like cotton balls dispersed. Okay, next there are three types of convective clouds. First one is cumulus cloud. They are together called as cumuliform clouds, and the first variety, the first type that we are seeing here is cumulus clouds, and they are fluffy white clouds with flat base, and they are rounded at the bottom. So it will be like this. This is cumulus cloud. It will be having flat base and then it is rounded at the top. Okay, and then there is another clouds, that is cumulonimbus clouds. So cumulus clouds can develop into cumulonimbus clouds, which are associated with thunderstorms. So this cumulus clouds will be developing into a cumulonimbus clouds. This is cumulonimbus, this is cumulus. Okay, so this is called as a towering cloud. Towering, it goes like a tower. Okay, so cumulonimbus clouds which are associated with thunderstorms. So cumulonimbus clouds are responsible for thunderstorms here. And there is also another type of cumuliform cloud that is called as cirrocumulus cloud, which is high altitude clouds that appear as small white and fluffy cloud patches, and they often have a wave or honeycomb like pattern. Okay, so such high altitude clouds are called as cirrocumulus cloud. So the word cirro means high altitude. Okay, this must be kept in mind. So let us see the pictures of these clouds so that you will understand it better. So this is cumulus cloud. It is low altitude. See, cumulonimbus clouds, it is both low altitude, mid altitude, and also high altitude. All these three are there. And then there is cirrocumulus cloud, which is like this, which is there in high altitudinal regions. Okay, so this is, all these together are called as cumuliform clouds because of its shape, that is like cotton balls. Okay, so all these three looks like cotton ball, this one, and this one. Okay, so this is what we need to understand from this particular thing. And now let us get into the details of what is cloud seeding. Okay, because that is what the topic is, and here the cloud seeding is done in convective clouds, and these convective clouds are called as cumuliform clouds, or also known as cumuliform clouds. And there are three different types of cumuliform clouds, that is cumulus, cumulonimbus, and cirrocumulus. Now let us understand what cloud seeding is. So cloud seeding is the process of artificially generating rain by implanting clouds with certain chemicals, okay, certain particles like silver iodide crystals. Very famous one is silver iodide crystals here. And this cloud seeding uses planes to spray the clouds with chemicals to condense water particles into larger rain droplets. So there will be smaller rain droplets. When there is a seeding happens, then this seed will attract these rain droplets so that it will form like this. These rain droplets will get attracted to this seed, that is the chemical particle that is being dispersed. And see, comparatively to this one is like a bigger drop. Okay, so it will become like a bigger drop here than this is a very big drop. Okay, so this is how we are going to increase the drop size, okay, the droplet size, thus it will induce precipitation. Okay, and what are all the application of cloud seeding? One application is done to enhance the winter snowfall and to increase mountain snowpack. Why are they doing this? To supplement the natural water supply for the communities who are living in the surrounding areas. And cloud seeding can also be done to prevent hailstorm. This is also important. Okay, hailstorm is like an hazard. Okay, it is not something which is expected. Okay, so hailstorm should be prevented with the help of cloud seeding. It can be prevented with the help of cloud seeding. And cloud seeding is also done to dissipate fog and also to induce rainfall. This one is the main use of cloud seeding, that is to induce rainfall in drought prone area. Other than that, it is also finding applications in somewhere, I mean in many other areas like preventing hailstorm and also for dissipating fog. And it also reduces air pollution, because when there is fog surrounded, then it causes air pollution, okay, which may mix with smoke and form smog, which is air pollution, okay. So in all these applications, cloud seeding can be used. Next is, so this is how cloud seeding happens. First is, an aircraft injects silver iodide or any other substance into atmosphere. So this is how the seeding is done. So all these particles are seed particles, okay. And then the chemicals mimic the particles that serve as the surface for condensation that creates water droplets, like we saw, okay. So they will attract those water droplets, and once the condensation creates water droplets that are large enough, then rainfall happens, okay. So when there are large rain droplets form, then surely precipitation will happen. So this is how cloud seeding works. Next is the three methods of cloud seeding. The first method is called as static cloud seeding. Here, like we saw in the previous slide, it is the same thing, okay. So it involves introducing ice nuclei like silver iodide, or even dry ice can be used here, into cold clouds, okay, that have super cooled liquid water droplets, okay. So when there is super cooled liquid water droplets and they are not so big, those droplets are not so big to fall as precipitation, fall as rainfall. So this clouding, this seeding is being induced, and the ice nuclei can trigger the formation of ice crystals and snowflakes, which can grow at the expense of the liquid droplets, okay. So there will be liquid droplets, and at the expense of liquid droplets, this snow forms, okay. This is the seed, okay. Around the seed, all these liquid droplets get accumulated. So this is how it happens. So it happens at the expense of liquid droplets, and it falls as precipitation. When the droplet is big enough, it falls as precipitation. Next is the dynamic cloud seeding. This is another type. What is dynamic cloud seeding? It means it is also a method of inducing rain by boosting vertical air currents. This is very important. So they are going to boost vertical air currents within the clouds for condensation to happen. This is another method of cloud seeding, where no chemicals, no much chemicals are involved, but then air circulation is induced among the clouds, okay. Vertical air currents is induced. Next is, this process is considered more complex than the static one, because it depends on a sequence of events which has to work in a proper manner, okay. So this is complicated than the previous one, that is the static cloud seeding. Another method we have is hygroscopic cloud seeding. What is this hygroscopic cloud seeding? It is a method which involves spraying fine particles of hygroscopic material. What are hygroscopic materials here? Those material which are able to attract water. Either it can absorb water or it can adsorb water. Okay, what is the difference between absorption and adsorption? Absorb and absorb. Absorb means the water is taken inside, okay, it penetrates inside, whereas adsorption means it is a surface phenomenon. The water is sticking to the surface of any other substance, that is called as adsorption, okay. So hygroscopic material can be either absorption, it can do absorption or adsorption. So either way, it is attracting water molecules, that is why it is hygroscopic materials. And here the best hygroscopic material is salts, okay. And these salts are sprayed through flares or explosives into the base of the warm clouds, and then the particle can act as cloud condensation nuclei, as we already saw, and increase the number and size of the cloud droplets, which can enhance the reflectivity as well as the stability of the clouds, okay. So this is hygroscopic cloud seeding, the third variety. Now let us understand what are all the challenges there in cloud seeding. The first challenge here is the presence of moisture filled clouds. This is one thing, okay. So there is compulsory need for moisture filled clouds, then only cloud seeding will be happening effectively. If there is no enough moisture in the clouds, then cloud seeding cannot happen effectively. Next is it does not occur during the times when additional precipitation would be a problematic thing. Okay, such as times of high flood risk or busy holiday travel periods. In those times, or in festive seasons and other seasons where people are coming out, then in those times cloud seeding cannot be done. Next, this is important, this cloud seeding may have negative effects on the environment and health of human beings, like altering the natural water cycle. Okay, naturally water cycle is happening due to precipitation. Okay, but then we are inducing it, we are enhancing it artificially. Okay, so it will alter the natural water cycle and contaminating the soil and water with chemicals, because we are adding chemicals like silver iodide, dry ice, and calcium chloride we saw in hygroscopic cloud seeding. So all these salts and other chemicals is going to affect the soil and water, and it is also affecting the local climate. This is also happening, okay, because the natural cycle is being disrupted here. So that is what we need to know about what cloud seeding is. The topic that we are going to discuss now is ammonia in the automotive industry. How ammonia is used in the automotive industry, let us understand. So recently an internal combustion engine which is powered by ammonia is gaining traction in the automotive industry. Okay, that is why this news is there. So generally in internal combustion engine, gasoline or diesel is used, either petrol or diesel is used, but here they are going to use ammonia and it is gaining traction. Next, this unique approach is sparking interest as it explores alternative propulsion technologies. So it is like an alternate propulsion technology while not completely departing from the traditional one. Which is the traditional one? The internal combustion engine is the traditional one. So they are not completely departing from the traditional one, nor they are going to transition to battery electric vehicles. Okay, so it is neither complete departure, I mean departing from the internal combustion engine, nor they are completely transitioning to battery electric vehicles, but they are making an alternative using this internal combustion engine only. The alternative that they are going to use instead of the fuel that was already used like petrol and diesel is, now they are going to use ammonia. So that is what we need to know. And let us understand the difference between what internal combustion engine and what battery electric vehicle is. How does it work and what are all the pollution that is involved in it? First thing is, internal combustion engine uses traditional engines that burns fossil fuels. So generally fossil fuels like petrol and diesel is used to generate power here. Here the fuel is mixed with air and then it is ignited. When it is ignited, there is sudden explosion, right? And that resulting explosion will drive the vehicle's wheel. That is how it happens, it pushes it forward. Okay, and they are commonly found in cars, trucks, and even motorcycles, and they emit exhaust gases which contribute to air pollution and greenhouse gases emission. This is one main problem with fossil fuels. Okay, so internal combustion engines so far were using fossil fuels. Now it has been transitioning, I mean it is an alternative fuel is being suggested now, that is ammonia. Okay, now let us compare this with the battery electric vehicles. Here battery electric vehicles are electric vehicles that rely solely on rechargeable batteries to power the electric motor, and they must be charged using electricity, okay, from the grid. And this grid can be generated, I mean that electricity grid can be generated from various sources which can include even renewable energy source, and they produce zero tailpipe emission, which is very important. Here there is exhaust gases which contribute to air pollution, and it also leads to increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, whereas in battery electric vehicles such problems are not there. Okay, so there is zero tailpipe emission and are considered environment friendly. Now let us understand how does this ammonia engine works. Okay, so before getting into the details of ammonia as a fuel, let us understand what ammonia is and what are all the various applications of ammonia, because questions based on that can also be asked. Okay, so what is ammonia here? It is a chemical compound with the formula NH3. Okay, and it is a colorless gas with pungent odor. So it is colorless and it has a pungent odor. So if there is release of ammonia, then we'll be experiencing this pungent odor, and it is widely used in various industrial, agricultural as well as household applications. Okay, and what are all the major applications of ammonia here? It is used in agriculture. So the key components in the production of ammonia based fertilizers. So ammonia is used in the ammonia based fertilizers like ammonium nitrate and even urea. Urea is a very famous fertilizer which we are using. Okay, so which are essential for crop growth. Next, chemical industry also uses ammonia, where it is a fundamental ingredient in the production of substances like nitric acid, ammonium sulfate and various nitrogen based compounds, because it has nitrogen in it, right? NH3. Okay, so it is used in the production of nitric acid, ammonium sulfate and even various nitrogen based compounds, and it plays a crucial role in the manufacturing of synthetic fiber also. Okay, so it is also used in the manufacturing of nylon. All these applications we must have to understand, and there are more applications like it is used in manufacturing industries. Okay, so they are used as refrigerant in industrial refrigeration system, and it is also used in air conditioning systems, and this ammonia is used in manufacturing of dyes also. Okay, and it is used as a pH regulator in dye manufacturing, and in household where ammonia is used, it is used in cleaning products like glass and surface cleaners. In those products ammonia is used. So these are all the applications of ammonia in general. Now let us understand what are all the uses of ammonia as a fuel, or the advantage of using ammonia as a fuel. First thing is high energy density. Ammonia has high energy density. What does it mean? It has high energy density, which means it can store and release a significant amount of energy. So it is capable of storing and also releasing significant amount of energy. That is why it is said that it has high energy density, making it suitable for long-term applications. One, okay, and ammonia has 9 times the energy density of the lithium battery. This is just a comparison with lithium battery and compressed hydrogen. Okay, so it is 9 times the energy. It has 9 times the energy density of lithium ion batteries and 3 times the energy density of compressed hydrogen. Okay, such comparative statements are also important. Okay, now it has low carbon emission, which is very important, thus it becomes environment friendly. Okay, so ammonia has the potential to produce near zero carbon dioxide. Okay, it does not produce any carbon dioxide at all during combustion, and thus making it environment friendly choice, especially when compared to fossil fuels. So when compared to fossil fuels, ammonia is environment friendly because it produces zero carbon dioxide, but then it has other emissions which we'll discuss later, and it is used as a bridge fuel. What is a bridge fuel here? Bridge fuel is the one which helps in reducing the dependence on the traditional fuels and thus offering a transitional buffer towards cleaner energy source. Now we are moving from fossil fuels to cleaner fuel, that is green fuel, green hydrogen and other things. Okay, so these are cleaner fuels, which means it won't be having much greenhouse gas emissions and other air pollutants, but then fossil fuels are highly polluting. So this transition is now happening. We are giving more importance to clean and green fuels. Now this ammonia fuel will be acting as a bridge in this transition. So ammonia fuel will be acting here because it uses internal combustion engines, like fossil fuel are being used in internal combustion engines, but it is not a completely cleaner fuel. So it is like a bridge between these two fuels. That is why it is called as the bridge fuel. Next, it is also also using ammonia can enhance nation's energy security by diversifying the energy mix. Already we have fossil fuels. We are heavily dependent on fossil fuels. We are focusing towards other renewable energy sources like solar, wind and other things. And then we also have this green hydrogen and other cleaner fuels. So it will diversify our energy mix. So this will become one of the part of the diversity there. Okay, and reducing the reliance on single energy source. Always completely relying on a single energy source is not a good idea. Next is, what are all the major challenges involved while using ammonia as a fuel? First thing is environmental impact. In the previous slide we saw that it is environment friendly, but here we are saying that it has an environmental impact. Let us understand how. So ammonia as a fuel holds a promise of a near zero carbon dioxide emission during combustion. Yes, that is why it is environment friendly. But current ammonia engines still emit exhaust gases like unburnt ammonia is released and nitrogen oxides are released, and these nitrogen oxides are very dangerous. They are uh, air pollutant, okay, which poses risk to environment and health. And this nitrogen in the atmosphere usually results in more tropospheric ozone. Okay, ozone is there in troposphere as well as stratosphere. Stratosphere ozone is a good ozone, whereas tropospheric ozone is bad ozone. So this nitrogen presence in the atmosphere will increase the tropospheric ozone, and there is also possibility of respiratory illness, and there are chances for rain, I mean acid rain also. Okay, next is production challenges. That is also there because the production of ammonia at present, it typically relies on a particular process called Haber's process or Haber-Bosch process. Okay, here this Haber's process consumes a significant amount of energy, and it completely relies on fossil fuels now. Okay, but we are focusing on producing green ammonia production, but then it involves, I mean this green ammonia production involves using renewable energy and sustainable sources of hydrogen. Okay, but still it is in the early stages of development. This green ammonia production is still in early stages of development, and it faces cost and scalability challenges. This is one problem with respect to production of ammonia. Next is its toxicity. Ammonia is also a toxic compound. Okay, so ammonia is highly toxic, posing health risks to humans and environment if not managed properly. So ammonia emission must be managed properly. Also, due to its toxicity and corrosive nature, accidents or mishandling could have severe consequences. Okay, so this is also there with respect to ammonia. So ammonia has to be handled very carefully. So this is ammonia as fuel and what are all the problems involved in using ammonia as fuel and other things. Okay, next is fuel quality. Fuel quality standards. This can also not be standardized very easily because developing and implementing a consistent quality standards for ammonia as fuel can be a complex thing. Okay, because when ammonia is produced from various sources with varying levels of impurities, this complete standardization is not easy there. Okay, and the Ministry of Power, Government of India has notified two missions, that is green hydrogen and green ammonia policy. Okay, in February 2022, which provides for various incentives and support measures for the manufacturers of green hydrogen and green ammonia using renewable power. Like we saw in the previous slide, that at present ammonia is produced only through that Haber-Bosch process, which completely relies on fossil fuels. But now a major push is being given for production of green ammonia. This is through this policy, that is green ammonia policy of February 2022. So this is what we need to know about ammonia's use in automotive industry. The topic that we are going to discuss now is reference fuel. So what is reference fuel? What are all its properties and unique significance? Let us understand one by one. So India has marked a significant milestone in its pursuit of self-reliance. How? By initiating the production of reference grade petrol. So we are producing reference grade petrol as well as diesel now, and it holds the promise of not only catering to domestic requirement but also tapping into the export market. But at present we are heavily dependent on importing these reference fuel. Okay, so historically only a select few companies primarily from Europe and the US provided reference fuel to India, but then now we have started producing it. And what are reference fuel? We are talking about reference fuel, but we need to know what reference fuel is. Reference fuel, it includes both petrol and diesel. It represents high value premium products. This is important. So it is high value premium products, which means its quality is very high. Okay, premium products specifically utilized for what? For calibrating and testing vehicles. So these reference fuels are used for calibrating and testing vehicles. Before it comes to the market, the vehicle has to be tested, right? So there these reference fuel are used. Okay, it has to be with highest quality, and this quality check or calibration is done by automotive original equipment manufacturers and institutions who are engaged in automotive testing and certification. Okay, so for them this reference fuel is needed. At present we are producing reference fuel in India itself. We are no more dependent on other countries for reference fuel. And what are all the features of this reference fuel? They have higher specifications than regular or premium fuels. Okay, and it includes various specifications like cetane number, octane number, flash point, viscosity, sulfur and water content, hydrogen purity, and even acid number. So all these specifications are there, very high standard quality, standards are there for this reference fuels. And what are all the benefits of producing reference fuel indigenously? First thing is cost advantage. The first and the most important thing is the cost advantage, because the cost of the imported reference fuel stands between rupees 800 to 850 per liter. Okay, because of its higher quality. Okay, whereas the domestic production is estimated to lower the cost to around rupees 450 per liter, significantly reducing the cost. Okay, so this is one major advantage or benefit of producing reference fuel indigenously. So this indigenous production of reference fuel by Indian Oil Corporation. So Indian Oil Corporation is the one who is producing this reference fuel in India now at present. Okay, so India historically depended on imports to fulfill the needs of the specialized fuels, but now Indian Oil Corporation has developed indigenously this reference grade petrol, where at its Paradeep refinery. So reference grade petrol is produced at Paradeep refinery in Odisha, whereas reference grade diesel is produced in its Panipat unit in Haryana. This is also important. So reference grade petrol is produced at its Paradeep refinery, and reference grade diesel is produced at its Panipat unit of Haryana. Okay, and this reference gasoline or gasoline is also petrol. Okay, so this reference gasoline fuel will be available in different forms. Okay, in different varieties, that is E0, 5, 10, 20, 85 and 100. And what are these E0, 5, 10, 20 and 85? They are different ethanol gasoline blends. Why are we blending ethanol with gasoline or ethanol with petrol? This blending is aimed at reducing the overall carbon footprint and emission from the gasoline powered vehicles. Thus to reduce the carbon footprint, we are going for ethanol blending, and all these different types of ethanol blended reference fuels can be produced by this Paradeep refinery in Odisha. And then there is also reference diesel fuel, which shall be available in B7 grade in this Panipat refinery. And what is B7 grade? Diesel B7 is a fuel with added bio components of up to 7%. So here the 7 represents the percentage, and even here the 0, 5, 10, 20, 85 and 100 represents the percentage of ethanol added. Okay, so this is what we need to know. What else? We already saw it has many standards, many specifications here. Okay, very high quality specifications. In that we saw octane number, cetane number, flash points and other things. So what are these octane number, cetane number, flash point, viscosity, acid number? Let us understand. So octane number means it measures the fuel's resistance to engine knocking. So when does engine knocking happens? When there is uneven combustion, then knocking happens. Okay, so there must be even combustion, then only this knocking can be prevented. When a fuel has higher octane number, then even burning will be happening, or even ignition will be happening. So higher octane number signifies better resistance to premature combustion in gasoline. So only when there is premature combustion in the gasoline, this knocking happens, and this higher octane number provides resistance to this premature combustion in the engine. Okay, next is cetane number. What is cetane number? It indicates ignition quality of diesel fuel. This is very important. So octane number is for gasoline, that is petrol or petrol, whereas cetane number is for diesel, which is very important. Question based on this can be asked. So a higher cetane number signifies easier ignition. This is important. Next is flash point. What is flash point? It is the lowest temperature at which the substance produces enough vapor to ignite momentarily. This is important. Okay, so to ignite momentarily, the lowest temperature at which the substance produces enough vapor. Thus, that temperature is called as flash point. Okay, so flash point is the temperature here. Next is viscosity. What is viscosity? It is the measure of fluids resistance to flow. So it is a measure of fluids resistance to flow. Viscosity means there is resistance to flow. Higher the viscosity indicates thicker and less fluid-like behavior. So when viscosity is higher and higher, then it is less fluid-like and it will be thicker in consistency. Next is what is acid number? It is the measurement of the amount of acidic substance present in the oil here, either diesel or gasoline. Okay, so that is acid number. So this is the detail which we need to understand with respect to this particular topic, that is reference fuel. These are the specifications. Each and every specifications that we saw will be having a standard number, a range within which these reference fuel will be prepared in high quality. The topic that we are going to discuss now is World Polio Day. Okay, so when is World Polio Day observed and what is its significance? Let us understand. World Polio Day is celebrated every year on October 24th to create awareness around the importance of polio vaccination to protect children. So to improve vaccination about improve awareness about this vaccination, this World Polio Day is celebrated. And what is polio here? Polio is a very infectious illness, okay, which has been around since ancient times and is a life-threatening and even disabling disease. At times it is life-threatening and most of the time it is disabling disease, which can spread from person to person and can cause paralysis. This is one main symptom or one main effect of polio attack, that is paralysis, or it may cause weakness in arms or legs. This is polio. Okay, so what are all the vaccines that we have? So polio virus, where can they live? It can live in the infected person's throat and intestine. Such statements are important. Where does it live? It lives in person's throat and intestine and can be contracted by food and water in unhygienic conditions. This is how it is spread, and it can spread through snooze and feces of an infected person. Okay, and there are two polio viruses. One is oral polio virus. It produces antibodies in the blood to protect the individual against polio paralysis by preventing the spread of polio virus to the nervous system. This is how it helps. Okay, so even if polio virus is getting attacked, I mean it is affecting a person, it won't spread to our nervous system because of the vaccination that is already there, which induces antibodies. Okay, next is inactivated polio vaccine. This is oral polio vaccine. Next is inactivated polio vaccine. This is an injectable, this is oral one. Okay, but this is injectable 3-dose vaccine and can be either administered alone or it can be administered with other vaccines also. Other vaccines which includes vaccine for diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, hepatitis B and hemophilus conditions. Okay, so this is the thing which we need to understand about World Polio Day and what are all the vaccines that is there and how it is spread. The topic that we are going to discuss now is RISUG, okay? Reversible male contraceptive. This is because of a study made by Indian Council of Medical Research, okay? So what is it? Reversible male contraceptive. So ICMR has concluded a 7-year study on the male contraceptive, that is reversible inhibition of sperm under guidance, that is this RISUG, okay, finding it to be safe and effective. And now this contraceptive is found to be safe and effective and it can be in the market anytime soon, okay. And this RISUG is a non-hormonal injectable contraceptive, so there is no disturbance in the hormone. Generally when they go for contraceptives, male contraceptives, then they induce hormonal injections, okay, to suppress that hormone which produces sperms, okay. So here it is non-hormonal but injectable contraceptive which provides long lasting sterility, okay. So the person will be sterile for a long time but with complete reversibility, but the person can be reversed to virility anytime, okay. So from sterile to virility the person can be reversible. Next is this contraceptive works by injecting a polymer gel. So a polymer gel made of styrene malic anhydride, that is SMA. It is injected into the person. This acts as which dissolves the polymer gel and flushes it out of the body. So that polymer gel will be flushed out of the body. Once it is flushed out, the person will be back active. Okay, so this is what we need to understand, and this study is done by Indian Council of Medical Research and it is the outcome of 7-year study which has been done by ICMR. So this is it that we need to know about what this reversible male contraceptive is. So with this we have come to end of today's session. I hope you found the session to be very useful and informative. Let us see in the next session. Thank you.